I've got a strange story to relate to you. First, I got to show you the setting. This is where I'm currently staying, Rue du Jerzual Street in Dinan, France, a medieval town. This is my place, and this is how you get in. I live up on the third floor. More on that later. So to get into my place, unlock the door here with this old skeleton key. You enter. 2 flights of stairs up. Turn the light on. Always lock the door because this street has been a busy footpath for humans, what have you, for a long time. No exception. I'll talk more about this street and this town on another video. So that's how you get into here. It plays into this. 2 flights of stairs up, my place. This is an old building. Unfortunately for it, it got hit with an artillery shell of some sort in World War II. And it's been rebuilt, a lot of it. The only other person that lives in here other than me, right there. And this person just works here 5 days a week. On weekends, he goes home somewhere else. And he does not have any pets. I verified that. That plays into this. So this is my door. Oh, this is getting into my place. Kind of doing it with one. This is my place. Now note, that's the stairs, the door, because this story has to do with some unusual visitors. I don't even know what to make of it. So I always lock the door and leave the key right there. And this is pretty much it. It's a small place. That folds out into a bed. And that's where I was when this story happened. I got a bathroom there. A little guest room there. Nice, pretty nice place. This street is really old. It's medieval. I'll do a story just on Jerzual Street. Kind of a little bit of a famous street. Pretty cool, huh? Even it's all the tourists that come here are French. Even the French think it's cool, and they live here. You don't really get too many others, but that's another story. So that's it. And I just want to tell you, I'm going to tell the rest of the story, but I just want to show you around. I was there, got up, went to here. And this is where this story takes place. All right, like I pointed out earlier when I made the video on coming into my place, I had a really strange event happen a few nights ago. I don't know what to make of it. Now, where I'm staying in Dinan, France, on a street called Rue du Jerzual, it's like really old street, and I'll do a video just on this street alone. But I mean, this, where I'm sitting, this apartment, there's probably been people living here for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, right down to like, who knows, year 1000, year 800. They've got a church here in this town that was built in the 12th century. And this town is like, it hasn't really changed. It's got a lot of old medieval buildings, especially the street I'm on. So I had some strange things happen here. My first night here. I spent a night in Paris when I came here. And I'm going to be here for a while yet. Now, I'll cover the street sometime. I'll do a video just on Jerzual Street. It's got quite a bit of character and history. And that's where I'm living. So I got up. I'll get right to the story. Went to bed that night, slept well, woke up around 6:30 in the morning. It was dark still, barely, and there was a cat on my bed, snuggled up on my. It was by my feet, and I don't have a cat. There's no cat here. So I'm just reacting kind of on reflexes. So I kind of pushed it off with my feet onto the floor, and thinking, what the heck, a cat? And it jumped right back up, and like got up by my feet, and I pushed it off again with my feet, and I was laying down right behind me. This couch behind me in this living room in this small apartment folds out into a bed. So the second time I pushed it off and onto the floor, it ran off that way. I'll show you this. And so I got right up out of bed. I said, a cat? What's a cat doing in my apartment? Because the place is locked up and there's really one other person that lives in this building. And that person wasn't there. This person, he's here tonight, which is part of the reason I'm kind of hush-hush, because he's below me, the floor, and I like to be quiet and considerate, But this guy works here. He works in Dinan 5 days a week during the weekdays. And on the weekends, he goes home to some other town. He just works here. He comes here at night just to sleep, and then he leaves. And I verified that he has no pets. And even if he did, it wouldn't answer this. So, and there's nobody else. There's a business on the first floor where the woman sells beads, and she's got a bead shop. And she's actually British. And her parents own the building that she runs a bead shop on the first floor, beadery, whatever. And the floor above that is an apartment like my own with a man. Like I said, he's there 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday. Then he goes home to wherever he calls home. He's just here working in town. And then above him is me. And he doesn't have any pets. I verified he has no dogs or cats. So I'm getting ahead of myself. So the second time I shoved this cat off my bed, it ran to my door, which is about 7 feet away from where I'm pointing my hand. I got right out of bed, wide awake, and I said, a cat, I want to see where it's going, right? Because I don't know because my door is locked. Well, when I got into the hallway, by where my door is, the only door in and out of this apartment, the door is wide open, and there is a large black dog sitting there in front of the door in my hallway, looking at me. So there's a cat and there's a large black dog sitting in my hallway, and the door is open. Yeah. I just reflectively just said, get out of here, shoot them out. And they went out the door, and I closed the door behind them and, made sure it was locked. And then I proceeded to tell some people, that there's a dog and a cat in my hallway, and nobody knows what to make of this. That's pretty much the story. But the story is, where did they come from? I mean, you've got to get through a locked door that opens to the street on the first floor. Then it's just a flight of stairs up. The guy that usually is here, he wasn't even here that weekend. And he doesn't, I verified, he has no pets at all. And how did they open my door? So, and I closed the door, and this wasn't a waking dream. I'm certain of it, because I was awake and I just reacted. It happened kind of fast. It was like a reflex. Cat on my bed, pushed it off with my leg, thinking, what the heck? And it jumped up, and I'm thinking, a cat. Pushed it off again. It ran to the door. I got up out of bed to see what's going on with this cat, and sitting in my hallway in front of an open door now, is a large black dog. Now, the black dog wasn't looking menacing. It just was sitting there, staring up at me. And it looked like a lab, just a black dog. Didn't have glowing eyes or anything. Looked like, I thought it was somebody's pet. I said, somebody's pets must have came in off the street somehow and got into my place. I didn't think paranormal at first or anything. I just thought somebody's pets got in. That's why I'm like, get out of here. And I shut the door behind them. But then I thought, the door to the street is locked, even if it were somebody's pets. And the guy beneath me is not there. He was gone. This happened like Sunday morning. He wasn't even down there that night. He's only here Monday through Friday. And then I thought, how did they open my door? And then I thought, well, this is weird. This is weird. I said, but it had to have been his pets that somehow got out of his apartment and for some odd reason came into my apartment and somehow opened my door, which didn't make any sense because the door's locked. And I said, it's going to be officially weird if I find out he doesn't have any pets. And I asked Billy, that's the person that runs the bead shop and also oversees the building. Her family owns it. She knows this person. And I told her this, she's like, oh my God. She was really intrigued. And she says, I can assure you, he doesn't have a black dog or a cat. He doesn't have any pets at all, I assure you. And she was really, she believed me. She thought it was pretty cool. This person's from Leeds, England. They've got their own stories, ghost stories and such. What else? Is there anything else to this story? I don't know what it means. I don't know what it was all about. I think it seems like the cat came in to get my attention and then to make me get up and come to the door. Honestly, that's what it seems like to me. That the cat came in and jumped on my bed to wake me up, which it did. And then the second time jumped up on my bed again to get me to get up and walk to the door. And when I walked to the door, there's this large black dog. I don't know what type of dog. It looked like it could have been a large lab. It was a short-haired black dog, a large one, very big, sitting there on the floor looking up at me like dogs do. And when I said, get out of here, they took off. As soon as I said, get out of here, because I thought it was somebody's pets. And I was kind of like shocked. And I just shut the door behind them. I didn't give it a second thought, except like, what the heck? So, if I find out anything more on this, I'll let you know. A friend of mine who's Irish, Sean, he said, I heard this story, and he says, the Sith cat and the black dog, he says, nice knowing you, Tim. Like this harbingers of death, like something in Celtic mythology, there's such stories of a black dog and such, and the cat that show up and they mean different things. And this area is actually it's in Brittany, France, but it has a very strong Celtic history because the year 500, round about the year 500 AD, the Romans took over France, what we call France, and Brittany. Around 500 AD, they left France, the Gauls and the Celts, and went back to Rome to take care of problems in Rome. Around the same time in Britain, what we call Britain, the Vikings and the Angles were coming in. So they displaced the Celts, some of them, who left Brittany, Britain that is, and came into the vacancy now created by the Romans leaving in Brittany, France. And that's why it's called Brittany, after Great Britain, Brittany. And there's very, very, very strong Celtic heritage here. They really proud of their Celtic heritage in, of all places, Brittany, France, which was kind of a shock to me. So I don't know. I'll post some more stuff. I hope to go to Mont Saint Michel, and I'm going to do a story and a video just on this street. It's quite an interesting street. It leads down to the old port, the medieval port on the Rance River. So this is a very interesting old place. What do you think? If I find out anything, I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. All right, thank you. God bless each of you. I hope you're each doing well. And just to show you, I like to tell as much detail as I can. When this happened, it happened right here in my living room. And my head was there, my feet were there, and pushed it off the first time, it jumped back up. Pushed it off the second time, I jumped right out and followed it. The black dog was right there, sitting there looking at me, and the cat was next to it now. Both of them sitting there looking at me. And this is what the stairs look like. You can see, just to let you know, the details. I gotta be quiet. All right. I think that's about all.